In this video, I have just one simple goal, and that is to make sure this video is the best tutorial video you would ever come across when it comes to signing up and getting started on Binance. I'm going to guide you through on the best and easiest way to sign up your account on Binance, get your verification done easily, let you know the proper and appropriate credentials that you could actually use to get your verification. And when we move away from that, I'm also going to help you understand how the Binance interface works and how to buy using your credit card, the peer-to-peer option, or many other options that are even available on Binance, and how you can get to be eligible for all of these options. Another fantastic thing we are going to be doing also, as I'm going to be guiding you through this process, is how you can get to place your trades, all kind of trades, your sports trades, your futures trades, understanding how the trading system works, and also giving you as a bonus some understanding of basic understanding and insights on how to use some technical indicators, interpret some charts, and getting to do many fantastic things on this particular crypto trading plan. And I want you to stay with me as I walk you through all of this. Ladies and gentlemen, to start with, the first thing you have to do to get on board to Binance is go to the website binance.com, and when you click the link or when you input that, it's going to bring you to this particular interface, and you can either log in or sign up. For we that are new users on this particular app, you have to use the sign up button. And after you click the sign up button, you're going to be presented with this particular interface. So now you can either choose to sign up with your phone number or your email, which I'll mostly advise you sign up with your email. Then you go in, input your email. So after you've registered your mail, by inputting your mail, a verification code will be sent to you, to your email, and you input the verification code. You are going to be brought to this particular page, and this is the page where you need to get yourself verified as a proper user of Binance. And you might be wondering, what kind of credentials can you use to actually verify yourself? Note, you have to use a government issue ID. I don't know the one that will be requested for your country of residence, but you should know that you need to at least be of age more than 18 to have a government issued means of identification. And as well, I advise you use either your passport, your voter's card, your national ID card, or your driver's license. This actually goes very well. So for the sake of this video, I'm going to be using my national identification number, which is equivalent to like the social security number in other countries. I don't know the one you can use or be applicable in your country of residence. My country of residence is set to Nigeria, and I'm going to click on next. Then after that, the system is going to try to verify your data with its database, you understand, and you'll be brought with this page, which will actually need to do a live check verification of you. That is to ensure you are not a robot. That is to ensure you are not registering more than one account or the other, or sort of, as you might think. Now, for you to continue with this, you have two options, and that is either you choose to do it with your current device or you choose to do it with your phone. Remember, I'm working and I'm doing this on my desktop, and most desktop don't have the capacity of a very good camera, so I'm going to actually advise that you do it with your mobile phone. You continue on your mobile phone. And how do you get to do that? All you need to do is just open up your mobile phone camera, you scan the screen code, and it's going to take you to the page where you're going to actually get that done. Do the liveness check, voila, and that is on. So after inputting your email, registering, and doing the liveness check, and you've passed the liveness check, you're going to have this interface as the next thing that'll pop up to you. And as you can see here, my account is verified already. However, yours might still be showing pending. I think the time of verification lasts between a day to a week maximum, or 2 to 3 days maximum. You should have your feedback, and that is that. So now let's talk about this interface we are graced with. So right here on the left, we have our dashboard at the top corner, which is what we are seeing right here, this whole screen. Here you have your asset. A shortcut asset will give you an overview of your wallet, your balance in your spot account, your margin account, futures option, your third wallet, which is going to be discussed. And after that, you can have a short link to your orders, your asset orders, your spot orders, futures orders, margin order, and all, which I'm going to talk about later. Then your reward hub, where you can have your referral campaigns, your referral account settings, your payments, and many other things. Sub accounts, if you have many other accounts, your account settings. At the top left here, we have the option to buy crypto. We have the market, where you can get to access the Binance market, where you have an overview of the crypto market, everything, where you can display the trade, where you can get to make your trade, buy your crypto, convert your crypto, your spot trade, your margin, convert, demo trade, trading with robots, copy trading, and all. Here you have the access to your futures markets, your futures trade, and options. This is the earning place where you can earn by staking, by doing some task, getting some loans on Binance, and all. Then here is the market square, where you can have your research, your blog, and many other things. You can try this out on your own, and many other things here. So also here we have the function of depositing, which I'm going to talk about later. Here you have an asset in your account, which I showed earlier. Now this is your dashboard, which is where we are already, this screen. And as you can see, the dashboard here is also what we have here. So some of these things are quite repetitive. We have the assets menu here, where you can get to access your assets, like I mentioned from here. Then here you have orders, just like you have it here. Here you have your account, just like you have it here. Your referral, and many other things, just like we have it here. And here you get to see your notifications, your chat, announcements, and many other things here. Then from here you can scan your QR code in case you want to make people register Binance through you. And here you can get to do your currency settings and your language settings. And here you can do either your dark theme or your light theme. So now, what is the first thing I'm going to actually be trying out here? That is you buying your first crypto, or buying your crypto on Binance. Now we need to understand one thing, that there are 3 ways to purchase or to get your crypto asset into your account, which are very easy. One is the spot, and one is funding your account with you through your debit card or your credit card. Another one is through the peer-to-peer, and another one is you depositing a crypto asset right into your account. I'm going to take you through the 3 steps and how it works. However, I mentioned something earlier, funding. Why do you need to fund your account? Cryptocurrency is not just like your traditional trading system. It is a system of its own, and you need to find a way to convert your traditional currency, your US dollar, your pounds, your Nigerian naira, your Ghana cedis, whatever, to something that is tradable on the crypto platform. And in the crypto space, we make use of a coin called the USDT. The USDT is pegged to the US dollar and is like the US dollar in the crypto space. So the first thing you always have to do is fund your account with some US dollar. You can use your local currency, anything you want to do as well. So now, how do you fund your account with the US dollar? Now you look at it from here. You can either send your USD or do anything. So now I can decide now to buy with USD. And when I want to buy with USD, that means I want to buy some USDT with, buy some USDT with my USD. That is, buy some USDT with my USD. The crypto version of the US dollar with my normal or my original US dollar. I'm going to get that done through my credit card. And when you click on that, like I mentioned, like I did earlier from deposit, you click on buy with USD. Now I will get to choose the particular type of crypto I want to buy. Now this is not just limited to the USDT or whatever, but I most times advise you purchase or you fund the account with the USDT. So I can have this place. You have the option of choosing the particular currency you want to fund your account with. As you can see, we have the British pound, the Ghana cedis. I'm not sure the Nigerian naira will be here at the moment, because I think there's been some issues with Binance and Nigeria of recent, but let's give it a try. Let's give it a try. I don't think there is. So I can't get to find the Nigerian naira yet. But however, whatever country, whatever coin, whatever country you want to choose from, whatever country's currency you want to pick from, you can have them here as long as your country is not restricted. And you can either choose between USDT or USDC. USDT is like the US dollar in the crypto space, and there are many coins like that represents the US dollar in the crypto space. We have the USDT, we have the USDC, we have the FDUSD, we have the BUSD. They all do the same thing. We even have the DAI. There are many of them, but the most common, the USDT and the USDC. Now, if I was to, do this with my card, let's assume I want to purchase something worth $1,000. I would be getting $958 and not $1,000. Why? Because charges, things called transaction fee. There will be transaction fee that will be deducted from this transaction through the payment platform, which is the one incentive for carrying out this task. So the next thing you need to do is click on Add New Card. And in this place, you will put in all the informations of your card, and when you're done, you click on Confirm. You'll be debited, the funds will be sent to your crypto account, and you can begin trading. So let's test out another option of you funding your account, which is you buying with P2P. The P2P stands for peer-to-peer. So in this case, there are people who are on this platform, this exchange, who are merchants, and what they do is they buy and sell. So they on this exchange have the USDT, that is the crypto version of the US dollar, which they are willing to sell, right? And you have the fiat, the normal US dollar, which you are willing to sell. They have the USDT, which they are willing to either sell or buy, and you have the fiat, which you are willing to sell. So in this case, you sell them the fiat, the normal US dollar and the reward, and they sell to you, they buy the fiat from you, and in exchange they give you the USDT, which is the crypto version of the US dollar. So, and this is where you get to see these people. So you just don't get to choose whoever you want to buy from just by saying you love the name. There are things you need to look out for to ensure you are dealing with the right set of people you need for that transaction. What I mean by that is you have to check this. Number one, check their feedback ratings. Many people have actually rated this guy on a good feedback, and you see he's the number one on this place. Yeah, it's the number one. Actually, anything that makes you have to go low, the lower you go, the lower the rating also, I think. So, and also you have to check out your order completion time. This says 15 minutes, which is actually okay, because you want to pay somebody and for something you need urgently, and it takes you a day or sometimes weeks, and you have to be filing for a report before you can get your assets. Another thing you need to check is to confirm if the amount you want to buy falls within the range of what the person is willing to buy or sell at the moment. Then you look at the number of orders to know that this guy is actually in the business. Then you click on Buy USDT. Now I think this shows it requires verification, so I'll just go to the one that doesn't require verification. So I do not accept payments from third parties on 24/7. The fastest trade, I don't accept transfers from another bank. If you make a transfer from another bank, you will lose all your crypto. So apparently it's telling you all of his terms, and you have to follow the terms. Assuming in this case I want to buy, let's say, 600 US dollar from him, right? Assuming I want to buy 600 US dollar, I'll be getting 599.35 cents, and that is because there'll be transactional charges for this transaction. I'll click on Buy USDT. By doing that, it's going to provide you the account which we are going to send the transfer to, or transfer the money to him of his choice, like you stated here. Then once he completes the order and he confirms that he has received the money from you, you will get the USDT released automatically into your account, and you would be able to see it from your wallet overview here, like I showed you earlier on. You see it reflect. Now let's go to the third option to which we can buy crypto. This is the third option, the best, one of the finest, at least to some extent, or at most to some extent, the most critical way of funding your account. But once you get it at once, you get it forever, and you don't need to be scared. I'm going to show you how you can just get to do it very easily. So just like all the options we've tried earlier on, the first thing you need to do is to select or state the particular coin which you are willing to fund your account. So when you deposit crypto into your account, it means you are sending a crypto asset directly to your account. You don't have to buy the US dollar, then later on have to go and convert. The first two methods we've talked about would require you having to go and convert the US dollar you bought for a particular coin of your choice. So, but in this case, I can either choose to send the USDT to this account directly, to USDT to my account, to my wallet directly, BNB, or even whatever coin, just name it. You see, there are a lot of coins. So now, let us assume in this case, I want to fund this account with some USDT. Let's assume I have some USDT in one of my wallets and I want to send it to this wallet instead of me having to go and purchase from elsewhere. So you would have to choose the particular network with which you want to send. Now there are things you need to do here, and that is the fact that you have to make sure the network you are choosing is also available on the wallet you want to send from. So let's just assume I'm choosing from the Trans wallet. And why do I want to choose from the Chelsea blockchain or the network? But if you don't know what a network is, all right, so a network is like a channel through which you can make payments or do transaction in the crypto space. When I say channel, technically speaking, I mean blockchain. So now these are channels, are different channels, and you just don't get to choose. You choose like you did in the P2P. You choose based on your preference. What are the preferences here? We have the speed, the charges, the amounts they charge, the minimum amount you can send. So some don't allow you to send below $10, some don't allow you to send below 50, some don't allow you to send below 1, some allow you to send below 1, some do, some don't. And you also look at the charges. Networks like the BSC network, the Ethereum network, the Solana, the Arbitrum are quite expensive, starting from the Ethereum. I think next is the BSC and Solana. Solana charges at least 1 USDT for whatever transaction you want to do. So if I'm sending 10, I'm going to be getting 9. So let's assume I want to use the TRC. The TRX to some extent is very cheap. The cheapest I think at the moment is the Plasma network. It is free at the moment. The Ton 2 is quite okay, 0.0000 something. But most of these networks aren't always available on other wallets. So that is where the issue comes from. So let's just assume I want to choose or deposit to my Tron network. So through the Tron network, then you copy your wallet address, which is unique to your Binance account, that you send to whoever you want to receive the crypto asset from. The person will paste the crypto address, wallet address, and send you the money, and immediately you would have it. Or you just make a snapshot of this, send it to the person scans this and pays you immediately. Always make sure that you are sending the right wallet address. Don't type it. Always copy like this and send immediately. In fact, if possible, snap all of this, copy it and send, so the person will be able to see the network with which you are sending from. Now let's talk about the next thing, that is how you can get to see the funds in your account. So here is my wallet overview and where I can get to see everything happening in my wallet, or everything that has happened in my wallet. So now you at the top here, you would have your balance. I'm waiting for this network to load. So you have your balance, and as you can see in this wallet, I currently have $10 in this wallet. Here you have your daily profits and loss. The P&L stands for your profit and your loss. So I'll have my overview. my favorite coins, my coin view, the coins I've traded earlier. This particular account will have been dormant for some while. Then you get to see, this is your general wallet. Then you get to see what you have in your spot wallet, your margin wallet, your futures wallet. Now you might be wondering, why are you having different wallets in a wallet? The fact is because of the fact that all of these trades are different, and for you to perform these trades, different trades, you have to transfer money from this particular wallet to this wallet. That is with you using the transfer function, right? I was talking about showing you how to convert earlier on, so but let's just look at the transfer. So for an example, if I want to, let's say I want to trade, right, and I want to be trading using the futures market, I have to move from my funding wallet to the futures market, and I have some USDT. Maybe I want to send some USDT. I'll select the USDT and I'll send, but however I don't have the USDT, that's why it's not popping up, but I think it should even pop up. So I'm going to be sending from my funding to the futures market, and I'll be able to trade with it. So that is that for that. And now, before I move to how you can get to convert, let's talk about how you can get to also withdraw from here. Let's assume you've made some profit from your trade, which I'm going to show you how to trade later on in this video. So the same way you did to fund through the deposit function is the same you're going to do. You're going to select the particular coin or asset you want to withdraw. Let's say in this case, maybe the BTC. You copy the address if you want to send to, like, the receiver's address. You paste it right here, you select the network, you click on withdraw. This network is quite lagging today and I don't know why. So you select the network, then you're going to approve the transaction by clicking withdraw. And don't think I'm really going to be waiting for this network to load all of that. Let me just go back. Okay, this is how you get to choose the network. You paste the address, and you must make sure you are pasting the address that actually goes in line with this network. Then after that, you click on withdraw. It's meant to have shown me withdraw amount. I don't know why this is taking some time, so I'll just go back. Then I'll go to show you how you can get to convert your USDT, that is your US dollar, for a crypto asset. Remember, the first two means of funding account, we funded it with the US dollar. So let's assume now that you want to change your US dollar for a particular coin of your choice. How would you get to do that easily? And the very fastest way is through using the convert function. Now when you go to convert, you have this interface right here, right? So, and as you can see, I can get to choose whatever asset I want to convert from each other. This is just like you swapping, basic swap. So right now, assuming I want to swap for some USDT for BTC, I'm just going to do that. In this case, I'll click on max, and it's going to show me the estimated value of my BTC, which I'm going to get in return. However, the thing still applies. Assuming I have another coin and not USDT, which I want to swap to BTC, assuming I have the Atom coin and I want to swap it to USDT, I'll click on max. I'll click on max right here, and it will show me the equivalent of this in either the USDT or whatever coin I choose from, right? So I click on max, but it's telling me the amount is less than the minimum amount which I can trade with, right? And you can also get to choose the chart from here. You can either choose it as an instant or a recurring. That is recurring if you want it to happen over time, or a limit. I'll tell you what a limit order is later on in this video. So that is that on you converting your USDT to a coin of your choice. Right now, let's get started and let's start getting into the deep waters. How do you trade spot? In this particular section on the video, I'm going to help you make your first trade as a crypto trader, right? And I'm going to be starting with the simplest and ending with the most complex one, right? So here we have the spot trade. Now, there are different kind of trades you can carry out in the crypto space. One is the spot trade, another is the futures trade, and another is the options trade. For this video, we're going to be talking about the spot and the futures trade only. spot and futures trade only. We're not going to be talking about the options. That's going to be another video for another day, right? So looking at this interface, you might be looking at, oh, this is something huge. How do I get to interpret all of this? They are easy once you allow me walk you through it, right? So in the next few minutes, we're going to be done with this. So firstly, we are graced with what we know as the chart. The charts, what are charts? Charts are just like a cluster of candles. And what are candles? These things you're seeing right here, all of this. Let me maximize this. Let me maximize this panel, make it bigger. And all of this you're seeing right here are what we know as candles. Now, what does this candle represent? This candles represents the price action in the market. Now, whenever you see a green candle, that means there's been an upward movement, a bullish movement, also known as a bullish movement in the market. And whenever you see a red candle, that means there's been a bearish movement, which means a downward movement. That means the market has been down. So I'm just going to deal with this, right? Let me zoom it and make it quite bigger for you. Now, this candle you're looking at right here has 4 basic parts. The first is the open. This point right here, this point right here is the open, and the close, this point right here. Now, between this point and this point here is what we know as the body, which is filled with green, right? Now, if you look very well and you look closely, you would notice that there's a thin green line that goes upward to this level, and also a thin green line that comes down from this point to this point. That particular thin line is what we know as the wick, WICK. Now, because the price action has reached this point and reached this point, to let us know it's reached this point and reached this point, that's why we have this wick reflecting on this. However, the market didn't close at this level. It closed at this level. It opened at this level and closed at this level. The market would only turn green if the close is higher than the open. This is the open right here. This is the close. So the market will only be green if the close, which is here, is higher than the open, which is here, right? The market has been to this side, but it's closed right here. So in that day, this particular day, we had a long candle or a bearish candle or a green candle. However, you might be looking at it that what piece of information does this candle carry? This candle you're looking at right here represents a day. Then if you want to say, oh, I want to see the information of what happened in the last 15 minutes, that is very, very achievable. All you need to do is come to this time frame panel here and you choose the one which is best, suitable for your choice. I can decide to change this to a 4 hours time frame, and by that, each candle you're looking at right here then not represents a day any longer, but represents 4 hours of a day, right? So let's go back to the daily candle. And there's one more thing I want to let you know in the candle is we always have, like I mentioned, the opening price and the closing price. However, also we always have the low and the high. Now, the lowest the market has been is this, which is this price, and the highest it has been on this particular day is this price. Currently on this day, the market opened at this point and it is currently on this point. That's why the market is red. Anything beyond this point, it will show a green candle. The candle will automatically turn green. There's nobody doing that. It's something automatic. So this is the low and this is the high. For this candle, this is the low and this is the high. I hope you get that clear. So let me just minimize this and take you to the next thing you need to understand. So on the left side here, on this side is where you have your tools where you can get to do so many things like I did right here on this chart. Draw some lines, do some technical analysis, which I'm going to do some real life ones for you on this in this video. Now, to the left side here is where you have what we call, or what is known as, your order book. So I want you to do something for me, right? I want you to imagine or think of this particular exchange, or the Binance, as an exchange house where there are a lot of traders willing to buy and willing to sell. Now, imagine there are at least like 100 traders on a file saying I want to buy. There are like 200 or 100 also saying I want to sell. So each one of them have to come and register the price for which they want to sell a particular commodity. The basic function of an exchange house is to merge a trader, which is a buyer, either a buyer or a seller, together, to merge someone who is willing to buy at a particular price which someone else is willing to sell. That's why we know all of these applications as exchange. These are exchange, digital formats of exchange houses. So you see that particular book where most of all of these traders have to input that trade is what we know as the order book, right? And we can't have a physical book on a computer, so we have, what is it called, a digital book, which is what we know as the order book. This order book provides you information on prices at which traders are willing to buy and willing to sell their particular commodity or a crypto coin. Now, this is only relative to BTC because I'm on the BTC chart. If I change it to any other coin from here, this is going to change the price function and the order book as well. I hope you get that clearly. This is the price people are willing to sell. On the top side, we have the sell, which is represented in red. This is the price people are willing to sell this particular commodity, the BTC, for. Currently, this is the amount of BTC they willing to sell, and this is the total number of people willing to sell this amount of BTC for this price. There are some little changes I can do. I could toggle this function right here to change the unit, or let's say the amount I'm getting right here. You see, if I set it to 10, it is not going to show me nothing less than something of tens, or just 1 to 10. You understand me? So that is the way it goes. So I'm just going to return this to its default function. I think it was on 0.01 earlier. I prefer the 0.01. So that is that about the order book. As you can see, it is called the order book right here. So now let's go to our right side here, and on the right side, what do we have here? We have what we know as the function, or let's say the trading pair. So this is where you can get to select the particular pair, currency pair, or a coin pair you want to trade. For an example, I want to search for Solana. I want to trade Solana. I'm not going to, I can either type the name of the coin in full, or just, look for the ticker. And if I click on this right now, the whole chart is going to change to the function or the information provided on this exchange as regards to Solana, right? It's simple. So most times you look at this here, this is where you have your trading pair, and as you can see, the name of the coin is not spelled in full. Why? Because in crypto we represent each asset by their ticker. Ticker is what we know as the symbol of a coin. TICKER is the symbol of the coin. If you don't know what the symbol of the coin is, you can always go to Google. The Google is your friend. Search for Solana ticker, search for Bitcoin ticker, Ethereum ticker. So after checking the ticker, the next thing we have here is the active price of the BTC on the market, the active price of the commodity you selected from this place, or you chose from this place at the market. Also, you have the 24 hours change, which is telling us that in the last 24 hours, Bitcoin has had a minus $1,622.78 in the last 24 hours, which is a minus 1.56%. Also, you are going to have the highest price that's been in the past 24 hours relative to the last 24 hours as at the moment which I am recording this video, which is $104,013.07, or even 0.7 cents. Also, you are going to have the lowest that's been in the last 24 hours, which you have here. You're going to have the last volume of BTC that has been traded, or the volume of BTC that has been traded in the last 24 hours, the amount of BTC that has been traded in the last 24 hours. You have 12,000 plus. Also, you're going to have the amount traded in value, or in the value of the US dollar, which is around 1.3 million US or million, is this million? Yeah, billion US dollar that's been traded in the last 24 hours. So now let me show you how you get to make your first trade on the crypto space. So now to trade, there are different types of trade you can carry out for profit in the crypto space. That is your spot trade, your futures trade, and the options trade. And this video we are going to be talking about just two of them, which is the spot trade and the futures trade. We're not going to be talking about the options trade. That is going to be another story for another day, right? So, and what is the difference between the spot trade and the futures trade? Let's talk about the spot trade for now. The spot trade is a kind of trade that allows you to make profit from the crypto space by buying low and selling high, which is the basic way of making profit from any traditional trading system. You buy low and you do what? You sell high, right? So for you to buy or sell, you have to create an order. Remember when I was explaining what we have right here, I said this is our order, right? These are orders. So you also have to create your order. You go to the exchange house, you tell them you are willing to buy for this amount. By so doing, you create an order. Now, talking about orders, there are three different main types of order. We have the limit order, the market order, and the stop limit order. So there are many other ones, but we're just going to deal with these three, right? So, and I'm going to explain what the limit order means, the market order, and the stop limit means. But I'm going to start with the limit order. The limit order is the type of order that allows you specify to the exchange house the particular amount or price for which you want to purchase or sell a commodity. It means it allows you to tell the exchange the particular price or amount you want your order to be triggered. Now, let's say I want to buy some Bitcoin, right? And I feel like, or I've done my research and I understand, and it's my research tells me and my analysis tells me I'm going to be able to buy my BTC for $99,000, right? I want to buy. So I come here and I put my buy price, the price which I want to buy for. I select here, and I want you to notice something. Just as I input the amount here, this thing dragged down to this point. This actually shows or reflects the amount I'm purchasing in respect to the percentage of it in my total balance. So if I want to trade just 50% of my wallet balance, I'll click on 50 right here, and it's going to toggle the price for me. And you see the price is changing just like that. So I'm just going to use 100%, right? And I'm going to click in and setting my trade. And by then, you would see it in my open orders. Now, I want you to be something about your mind against where you're going. That is to know that whenever you trade a spot, you're actually trading your assets. You're trading your assets. That is, you buy your real asset. You buy it at a lower price and you sell it at a higher price, right? Put that at the back of your mind. I'm coming back to take it away from you. And don't forget. So now you have your open orders. Here you see the other informations, the price for which you put the order, which you can change if you change your mind, the amount of it and all. Then the total amount expected. And if perhaps you feel like you're more comfortable with this, or maybe you made the wrong analysis and you feel like you want to cancel it, you just have to come right here and cancel the order. And by then you've cancelled it. Opposite of this is the same way if you want to sell. You set the price, the amount you're willing to sell, and you click on sell. You should limit order. Now let's talk about the market order. Using the market order is very simple. It's very simple. Sorry about that. Using the market order is very simple, because all you need to do is just press the amount or input the amount you are willing to use to either buy or the amount you are willing to sell, because the market order executes your trade instantly with the current market price. If I were to type or just click on this buy right now, it's definitely going to buy the USDT for me. And you would notice something. Let's just do this for an example. I click on buy and you see when I come down, I'm not going to have open orders. Instead, what I'm going to have would be trade history. I'll have it in my trade history that I bought from some particular price, and you see the time and the order number. right? So now let me come back to sell, and I say, oh, I want to sell. Then I click on the hub and I click on sell. Now you have to be very careful when you're dealing with buying and selling, because when you sell market order, you have to be sure about what you're doing, because it is definitely going to be, it's not going to give you the chance of having a second thought about it. So now I sold already, and as you can see, I do not have any BTC anymore. However, I'm going to have some little amount, and this is always happening. So that's why I don't like doing up this transaction too much, because it eventually makes me lose my money, because eventually it will sell, and there are some transactional charges that will sell goes on when you're doing it. So it is not a child's play. If you're not interested in doing it, don't just do it for fun, except you want to practice with, you have the demo function to do that. So now let's go to the futures trade, and let me show you what it is like to trade on futures. When you want to trade futures, you have to choose either the USD margin or the coin margin. This is simple, something I don't expect or I wouldn't say you bother yourself with. When you are trading with the USD margin, that means you are trading with the US dollar margin. When you are trading with the spot and with the coin margin, that means you are trading with the against the coin. Perpetual or quarterly contracts filled settled in USDC and USDC. This is settled in the cryptocurrency, just like that. So you get your payment or you do your transaction either in the cryptocurrency or you do your USDT. And I prefer using the USD because I'm actually trading or funding my account with the USDT. I want to know the amount of US dollar I have lost. I want to know the amount of US dollar I have bought or I'm making in profit from a particular what's it called, trade, right? So I've clicked on the on the USD coin margin, and it is bringing me down to this page. So let me just take this back and click on this while we wait for the network to load this up. So before we get started on the futures trade, remember I asked you to hold something in your mind for me, and that was me talking or making a definition of what the spot trade is, right? So now I'm going to define to you what the futures trade is. You remember I said that when you're trading the spot, you're actually trading assets. You're buying assets and you're selling assets. But when you're trading futures, you are not buying assets. You are actually buying the market. What I mean is you are creating an hedge to the market. Also in layman's term is you are placing a bet, a prediction, and you're placing a bet on your prediction to the market. That is why the futures trade is quite very risky, and I won't advise you get into it if you don't know how to swim in deep waters, because when you trade, you make a prediction. That is why it is called futures, that this is what is going to happen to this particular commodity or this particular coin over some period of time, depending on what you choose or your what's it called, your preference, and you place a bet on it. So when it goes your way, you make profit for making a good prediction. When it goes against your way, you lose money for making a bad prediction. It is as simple as that, but more heartbreaking than it sounds. So now this is how it works. The same way we have it on the spot trade, same thing over here. You have your order book here, you have your trades, then you can either buy long, which is known as long, or you short, which is known as sell. So when you hear people talk about I short this particular trade, that means they sold the trade. And in futures trade, it is not one-way trafficked. You can either make money by either selling or buying. Remember, all you need to do is make the right prediction. So then there is a clause to the futures trade, and the clause is more or less like a better advantage known as the word leverage. So let us assume you want to trade but you don't have much money, right? You don't have much money. Then I said, okay, I expect Bitcoin to go all the way up from $102,000 to $120,000, and I'm very sure about it. Then I thought to myself, all I have to make this trade is just $10. What if I could borrow 20 from my friend to fund me, so by then I make a bigger profit on my bet, right? That thing is called leverage. And now You don't have to go and borrow from your friend. All you need to do is just use the leverage function. When you use the 10 times leverage function, the 5 times leverage function, or just at however as you might please, it is going to multiply your trade in that amount. Just hold on for me. Let me show you a practical example of what I'm talking about. So now I can get to choose my leverage. When I use the 5 times leverage, I'll be trading 5 times my capital. So if I want to open a trade of $1,000 to make a profit, I will not need to fund my account with $1,000. All I need, or the exchange is going to be charging me, is just $100 if I'm using a 10 times leverage. That means the exchange is being magnanimous, right? But the thing is, it is crazy because the exposure that will be faced with your account won't be the exposure of $100. It will be the exposure of $1,000. And before they lose that money, they would liquidate your trade so as not to make that loss get to their own side. So once your $100 is wiped out, they would immediately stop the trade and your money would be gone. In spot, your money is not gone. At least you always have the asset which you can always sell whenever the market is okay for you to sell. By using the leverage, you borrow some funds from the crypto exchange to trade. Assuming all you need or all you have to trade is just $100, and you feel like you could make more profit if you had more and more capital to carry out your trade, right? So what you can do is you can get to borrow some amount of funds from the exchange to carry out your trade, and that is leveraging. So you can borrow 10 times, you can borrow 5 times, you can borrow 6 times, you can borrow 16 times, you can that. So now let's see how this works, right? So let's assume I said I did my analysis and I want to enter this trade. Remember, I said you could make your profit either the up way or the down way when you're trading futures. And I say I want to enter my trade at $100,000. Then I'm going to set the amount I'm willing to trade in in USDT. Remember, I'm trading times 10, so I'm not going to be putting, assuming I want to trade with just $10, I won't input 10, I would input 100, because by then the exchange is going to borrow me the remaining 90. Remember, I said they're multiplying this times 10 for me. So by then, the only thing that's going to be protected for my account for this trade is just $10. Then when I make my research and my analysis and I believe the price is coming to $120,000, and that is when I want to tap out of the market, that is what we call our take profit. That is where you want to take your profit from. And there's also a function of having multiple take profits, but that only happens when you have an active trade, which is something more technical later, which we'll discuss maybe in some other videos. Then there's something called stop loss, which is very good to help you reduce the amount of risk of liquidation or exposure to liquidation. Now, if I don't set my stop loss and the market goes the opposite direction, that instead of going up, it comes down to, let's say, $90,000. If I don't set my stop loss, as long as my account can carry, I will keep losing money till I lose every bit in my account. But if I set my stop loss, let's say to $98,000, once the trade gets to $98,000 and it is going the opposite direction of my prediction, the market will immediately tap out by itself, because I said this is the farthest I am willing to risk my money. This is the farthest I am willing to lose on this trade. Once it gets beyond this price, please leave me alone. And you just don't get to set these prices by guess luck or something. These are from analysis. These are from you understanding your support zone, your resistance, your break, your entry, types of breakouts, the pattern and the panel and the pattern and the channels with you are trading. I hope you understand me. So then this is a limit order and the futures trade, just how we have the limit order, the market order, and the stop limit in the spot trade. I think I didn't mention or I didn't explain how to use the stop limit. So let me just finish with the limit order. So then I'll click on buy and I have my trade open. But however, I'm not interested in making this trade because this is just me explaining to you. Now, the same thing applies to if you want to sell. Now, let's talk about how you can get to use the stop limit order. The stop limit order is one of the most beautiful type of order I like to use as a trader because it allows you to give a condition to the market. And what is this condition? Let us assume that you believe that the price of Bitcoin is going to get to $90,000, but you know from your analysis that for it to get to $90,000, it has to hit a rooftop of resistance at $120,000. Until that time, it is not going to come down, or not very going to come down at top assurance to the price of $90,000. How can you get to set the market's order to this thing? You would use your stop limit order. Then you set the trigger price, that is the price which you believe must affect, or the price action must get to before it can get to trigger your own trade. So let's say I believe Bitcoin will get to $120,000 before it gets to $98,000. So then I said, okay, once this market or the price gets to $120,000, my confirmation that the price is coming down would be that when it gets to, I say, $109, then I will say open a trade for me at $109,000, right? At the same time, I will input the amount of money I'm willing to stake on this trade. Let's say $100 in this case. Remember, I'm trading with leverage. Then I'm going to set my take profit. Let's say, okay, I'm willing to take out my profit once it gets to $90,500. Then my stop loss will be if it ever gets to fly beyond $112,000. This is how you get to use a stop limit order. This is a sell position that I'm setting right here. I'm intentionally using the set a sell position because I've used the illustration of a buy position before. Remember, you set the trigger price, you set the price which you want to enter the trade, you set your take profit, and you set your stop loss. And that is how you get to use the stop limit on futures trade. And this is how you get to do a futures trade. So I would have loved to show you how you can make some technical analysis using some basic technical tools on Binance. Maybe we can just do some little overview, but I would love you to check the next video I'll be releasing on this channel soon, because this video is already long and lengthy and I don't want to bore you with that. But you can check out for the next video where I will explain how to use trading technical tools, or even more technical platforms that provide you with long and vast tools that will help you trade like a professional, tell you when to enter, tell you when to exit the trade, instead of just relying on Binance alone. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to receive them in the comment section, as I will be taking my time to answer the questions bit by bit. I'll be glad to hear from you, and I'd love to hear from you. To when next I come your way, stay cool and play big, and don't forget to like this video, recommend it to YouTube. This is the best way you can get to encourage me to do more. To when next I come your way, stay cool and play big.